Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your coming. I'm glad to see you here. I'm Hsiang, currently a PhD student in Department of Technology Management at Zhenghua University. It's my pleasure to be here to share my research finding with you. I'm going to talk about my recent research entitled Isolation of Wax-Free RTPNC from Supercritical Carbon Dioxide in Thermal Extraction of Brazilian propolis using an adsorption column chromatography and RTPNC-induced anti-proliferate effective on human colon cell. Here on this slide, you can see an outline of my presentation. So this presentation will be divided into 6 major parts. I'll start off by giving you the research background and the motivation of my research study. Then I'll go on to the research framework and methodology in this study. In the 5th part, I'd like to highlight some of the significant results I have found. At the last part, I'll give you some discussion about my result. Propolis, also called bee glue, is characterized as a complex and resinous mixture produced by bee. It be made by bee saliva with wax and collected from botanical sources, used to seal the gap in the hive and protect it against light, moisture, and external factor. Moreover, it is used to disinfect the internal environment of the hive and adjust the internal temperature. Propolis has been used in traditional medicine for 1,000 years. The ancient Greek, Romans, and Egyptian were aware of the healing properties of propolis and made extensive use of it as a medicine. Propolis has over 115 components, such as cinnamic acid derivative, flavonoid, ester, aromatic aldehyde, flavonoid derivative, terpene compound, phenol derivative. Many research and papers have proven that propolis is effective in reducing the size of tumor, killing cancer cells, repressing growth and metastasis of malignant tumor, reducing the side effect of chemotherapy, increasing immunity, reducing fibrosis. RTPNC is one of the principal phenolic acids found specific in the Brazilian propolis. It has various biological activities such as antibacterial, antivirus, apoptosis-inducing, antioxidant, and anti-carcinogenic properties. RTPNC is attracting attention as a material for complementary alternative medicine for cancer treatment, since its anti-cancer effect was demonstrated in vivo. RTPNC exerts direct anti-proliferative cytotoxicity and apoptotic effect on gastric, colon, or lung cancer cell, and inhibited the growth of the transplant solid human or mouse tumor in asthenic and thymic mice, respectively. The motivation of the research. The traditional propolis extracting and purifying method usually have some drawbacks, including complexity, taking a long time, poor purity, residue organic solvent problem. The aim of our research is to provide a method of making, separating, and purifying RTPNC in the propolis, which may massively produce RTPNC and maintain biological activity of RTPNC. To provide a method is performed without solvent. Therefore, there is no residue problem and which has a low cost and is recyclable, safe, and practicable. This research relate generally to active component of propolis, and more particularly to the method of making vitamin C from propolis for anti-cancer purpose. Supercritical extraction is an effective and sustainable green technology for the extraction of bioactive compound from natural product. In our method, the step 1 of our method, we mix propolis with the ethanol to obtain a propolis ethanol extract. Then we provide supercritical carbon dioxide and the propolis ethanol extract to the chromatographic column to separate wax and vitamin C. So we can get the vitamin C fraction in the top of the column, and the wax is in the bottom of the column. After we get the vitamin C fraction, we test the vitamin C fraction activity by experiment including cytotoxicity, cell morphology analysis, and the cell motility metastasis test to evaluate anti-cancer effect of the vitamin C fraction. This is our result of the high performance liquid chromatography. Chromatogram, comparative HPLC chromatogram overlay of the vitamin C content produced after SFE in red, and conventional ethanol extraction is in black. The conclusion of our HPLC chromatogram showed that the peak of the vitamin C in the ethanol extract propolis are lower than that the vitamin C in the SFE propolis of this method, which means that the SFE propolis of the method has more vitamin C. This is a diagram showed a comparison of relative amount of the wax remained after SFE extraction and the conventional ethanol extraction. As shown in this diagram, in comparison with the SFE propolis of the method and the conventional ethanol extract propolis, there was 95% wax decreasing. It proved that the method is effective in removal of wax in the propolis. A diagram showed the survival test rate of HCT116 cell in the SFE propolis with the different concentration. This diagram showed the survival rate of the HCT116 cell in the SFE propolis with different tone. Our conclusion of the diagram of the cancer cell line cytotoxic showed that the SFE propolis of this method is effective in killing cancer cell or repressing the growth of the cancer cell. The picture of depicting HCT116 morphologic change in the SFE propolis that in control group at the 2nd, 7th, 14th, and the 21st day. The picture of the cancer cell line morphology showed SFE propolis treated HCT116 cell changed significant. For example, number of the cell decreased and the cell become rounder and larger. It showed that SFE propolis has the anti-cancer effect. A diagram showed the motility of the HCT116 cell in the SFE propolis, and that in control group after 1 hour and 24 hours. The diagram of the cancer cell motility showed that SFE propolis was significantly effective in repressing the growth of the cancer cell, and the cell motility is less than that of the control group. Our discussion of the result The method provided supercritical carbon dioxide as the solvent and used the chromatography and adsorption technique to massively separate and purify at RTPC. This method is effective in anti-cancer that has been proved by cytotoxicity test, cell morphology analysis, and cell motility metastasis test. The method has simple procedures and no residue solvent problem. It further has some advantage, including low cost, recyclable, safety, and practicable. Thank you for your listening.